Meet Sarah Mitchell, 28 years old, who spent her days in a small translation booth at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, converting routine documents from Spanish to English. What nobody at the base knew was that she held a PhD in cryptolinguistics from Stanford and had once broken a terrorist communication code that saved an entire federal building in Chicago. Sarah's extraordinary journey began in Seattle, Washington, in a very special family. Her father, Dr. Robert Mitchell, was a veteran language expert who had worked for the FBI's cybercrime division for 20 years. Her mother, Dr. Grace Chen Mitchell, was a comparative linguistics professor at University of Washington who spoke 14 languages fluently. Sarah had literally grown up surrounded by languages and codes. Sarah's talent emerged at a very early age. When she was 5, her family lived in Seattle's diverse Capitol Hill neighborhood. Sarah played in the local park with children from different countries, learning their languages naturally. In 4 months, she mastered Korean. In 3 months, Tagalog. In 2 months, Russian. Each language was like a new piece of music to Sarah. But Sarah's true genius wasn't just in learning languages. She could intuitively sense the hidden structures within them. When she was 8, she was playing with encrypted FBI documents that her father, Robert, had brought home to his study. One day, Robert found her translating a complex Arabic cipher into English, despite never having learned Arabic. "Sarah, how can you read this document?" her father asked, amazed. "I don't know, Dad, but the letters are talking to me. I can hear their rhythm, see their stories." That day, Robert understood that his daughter had not just linguistic ability, but an innate, unique intuition for pattern recognition. Sarah's brain processed languages like mathematical formulas, instantly solving the logic behind each language. Sarah's childhood years were filled with constant discoveries. At age 9, she taught herself to read Chinese characters. At 10, she began translating ancient Latin texts. At 11, she was secretly studying FBI unsolved case files, analyzing the linguistic patterns within them without her father's knowledge. During high school, Sarah's talent reached legendary levels. When teachers at Roosevelt High School in Seattle realized that normal language classes were insufficient for her, they began giving her university-level projects. Sarah compared ancient Sumerian with modern Turkish, turned linguistic evolution into mathematical models, and even developed theoretical encryption systems. At age 16, Sarah experienced a major turning point in her life. Through her father's FBI connections, she was invited to the CIA's ultra-secret Exceptional Minds program. This program was designed to prepare only those with very special talents for work in national security. Sarah spent her summer vacations at Langley, Virginia, working with the world's most advanced cryptolinguistic techniques. During the CIA summer program, Sarah astounded her instructors. In 6 weeks, she taught them techniques for developing modern encryption systems using 3 different ancient languages. At the end of the program, the CIA director had a personal meeting with Sarah and told her, "You have a gift that appears once in a generation." When Sarah started at Stanford at age 17, she was already no ordinary student. After the admissions committee saw her CIA recommendation and exceptional test scores, they offered her a full scholarship and direct PhD track. Sarah completed undergraduate requirements in just 18 months and transferred directly to the doctoral program at age 18. During her PhD research, Sarah truly redefined academic boundaries. Her thesis topic was Quantum Linguistic Cryptography, Integrating Ancient Language Structures with Modern Encryption Algorithms. This revolutionary work combined the linguistic patterns of 5 different ancient civilizations, Maya, Egyptian, Sanskrit, Akkadian, and Linear B, with quantum computing. Sarah's research created a sensation in the academic world. It was simultaneously published in Nature, Science, and Cryptologia journals. She was invited as a keynote speaker at international cryptography conferences. At age 21, Sarah was already recognized as a global expert. After graduation from Stanford, Sarah received multiple prestigious offers, an assistant professorship from Harvard, a research scientist position from Google, a senior analyst role from the CIA. But Sarah chose the NSA because she could work on real-world applications there. At the NSA, Sarah's first assignment was the Anomalous Communications Division. This ultra-classified unit studied the world's most unusual and sophisticated communication methods. Sarah's job description was simple: make impossible codes possible. Sarah's NSA career began legendarily. In her first 8 months, she achieved 4 major breakthroughs: decoded a hybrid communication system used by drug smugglers in Miami that combined ancient Arabic numerals with modern satellite phones; exposed a sophisticated network used by foreign agents who embedded military intelligence within social media posts in New York City; cracked a method used by cybercriminals who concealed financial transactions using modified Cyrillic script variations in Las Vegas; broke an encryption system used by human traffickers operating between Los Angeles and San Diego that utilized ancient Phoenician alphabet structures. Each success exponentially increased Sarah's reputation. NSA colleagues began calling her the language whisperer. Sarah didn't decode codes, she had conversations with them. Sarah's most significant case came in 2019. Mexican cartels had developed a new generation communication system for operations targeting Phoenix, Arizona, and El Paso, Texas. This system was considered completely unbreakable because it combined ancient Maya hieroglyphs with modern digital encryption. The combined efforts of the FBI, CIA, and DEA made no progress for 10 months. Sarah traveled to Phoenix and Tucson for 3 weeks to study the case. She examined ancient Maya texts in Arizona State University's archaeological collections, collaborated with linguistics professors at University of Arizona, and even visited Native American communities in New Mexico to understand related linguistic patterns. The breakthrough came on the 16th day. Sarah discovered that the cartels weren't just using the Maya language, they were also incorporating Maya mathematical concepts. The Maya civilization used a unique base 20 number system, and the cartels were employing this mathematical logic as encryption keys for coordinating activities between Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. In a 96-hour marathon session, Sarah decoded the entire cartel communication network. The results were catastrophic. The cartels were planning coordinated attacks on federal facilities in Denver, Colorado Springs, and Albuquerque, using sophisticated weapons smuggled through multiple border crossings between California and Texas. Thanks to Sarah's intelligence, the FBI and DEA conducted coordinated raids across 7 states and prevented what could have been the largest domestic terror attack since 9/11. This success brought Sarah national recognition. She was mentioned in the president's daily intelligence briefing. The NSA director personally commended her. Time magazine featured her as the 23-year-old codebreaker who stopped a terror plot. But unprecedented success demanded a heavy price from Sarah. Constant high-pressure work, non-stop classified missions, and continuous life-or-death decisions severely impacted Sarah's mental health. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, and information overload symptoms began affecting her daily life. In 2020, Sarah's biggest and most traumatic case occurred. A domestic terrorist group had developed a sophisticated attack plan targeting federal buildings in Atlanta, Charlotte, and Jacksonville. This group shared normal content on social media platforms, but actually embedded complex coded messages within them. Sarah worked nonstop for 28 days on this case. She discovered that the group was using the ancient Nahuatl language to communicate coordinates, timing, and weapon specifications in Instagram captions posted from various locations including Nashville, Memphis, and Birmingham. Sarah mapped their entire network and prevented planned attacks in 15 different cities across the Southeast. 312 innocent lives were saved, but this final victory became Sarah's breaking point. After the mission was completed, Sarah experienced complete mental exhaustion. Doctors diagnosed severe burnout and post-traumatic stress symptoms. Sarah's brain had literally been overworked. During the treatment period in a facility outside Washington, D.C., Sarah realized she needed to find a sustainable career path. NSA management offered her extended leave and specialized therapy programs, but Sarah chose a different path: complete transition to civilian life. In 2021, Sarah resigned from the NSA and decided to move to a quieter location. To recover in a peaceful, low-stress environment, she looked for a simple job far from the East Coast. The translation position at Fort Campbell seemed like a perfect fit. Routine work, minimal stress, no life-or-death decisions, located in the peaceful countryside between Nashville and Louisville. During the application process, Sarah deliberately downplayed her credentials. On her resume, she only wrote, "University graduate with multilingual skills." She didn't mention her Stanford PhD or NSA experience. Even in the background check, previous federal employment was listed with minimal details. The interview at Fort Campbell was extremely routine. The personnel officer tested Sarah's Spanish proficiency, had her do a few sample translations, and hired her. Nobody probed into Sarah's real background. For Sarah, this anonymity was exactly what she needed. For 10 months, Sarah maintained a peaceful existence. Her daily routine was simple: receive incoming Spanish documents in the morning, prepare careful translations, perform quality checks in the afternoon. The workload didn't challenge even 1% of Sarah's actual capabilities. Sarah's colleagues had minimal interaction with her. Everyone categorized her as a quiet but efficient translator. Sarah didn't attend social events, didn't participate in office conversations, and maintained a low profile. She had achieved perfect invisibility. Captain Harrison, 32 years old, displayed typical military hierarchy attitude toward Sarah. The West Point graduate and intelligence division commander inherently considered civilian staff inferior. He rarely acknowledged Sarah in conversations and delivered orders in a dismissive tone. Captain Harrison's assumptions about Sarah were completely wrong, but he didn't realize it. He hadn't properly reviewed Sarah's personnel file. He had simply classified her as administrative support staff. He had no idea about Sarah's actual expertise levels. Sarah silently tolerated Harrison's condescending behavior. She didn't respond, didn't defend herself, simply concentrated on her work. Sarah had learned that sometimes invisibility was the most powerful protection method. This Tuesday morning at 3:47, everything changed dramatically. Fort Campbell received an encrypted message intercepted from communications between Kansas City and Oklahoma City. The 847-character seemingly random text perplexed the base's entire cryptography team. For 7 hours, they tried different algorithms, techniques, and approaches. No success. The base's cryptography experts reached the point of frustration. Major Stevens, the 29-year-old team leader, finally declared, "This message doesn't conform to known cryptographic standards. It's possibly a foreign language badly encoded or completely random data." At that moment, someone suggested, "Maybe we should ask the translator. It might just be poorly written foreign text." Harrison found this idea reasonable and decided to call Sarah. Harrison approached Sarah's desk with his usual dismissive manner. "Mitchell, can you look at this text? It's probably Spanish or Portuguese, something basic you can understand." When Sarah glanced at the screen, immediate recognition occurred. This text wasn't an ordinary foreign language. The pattern structure, character frequency, mathematical relationships, everything looked familiar to Sarah. It was a modern adaptation of ancient Maya language, identical to the cartel communication system she had encountered at the NSA. Sarah's internal alarm bells rang, but she maintained external composure. "Do I need dictionary access?" she asked casually. "Yes, whatever's necessary. Just work quickly. There's pressure from the Pentagon." Sarah automatically employed NSA techniques. She began character frequency analysis. In Maya language, specific letters follow statistical patterns. Within 20 minutes, Sarah identified the preliminary structure. After 45 minutes, the first major elements were decoded. Oxlahun Oken, a great movement major operation, Hun Wienik Oxlahun. 200 men, Sac B Memphis, Memphis Road, E Route, Itzamna Detroit, the Detroit Sky Serpent air operation. Sarah's blood froze. This message was exactly cartel operational intelligence, but far more sophisticated than anything she'd seen before. Someone was leaking detailed information about a military convoy traveling from Fort Campbell through Memphis, Tennessee to Detroit, Michigan. Continued decoding revealed more alarming details. Complete convoy route mapped through Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis, and Fort Wayne. Exact timing coordinates provided for each checkpoint, security protocols detailed for stops in Cincinnati and Toledo communication frequencies. Listed ambush positions suggested near Cleveland, Ohio. Sarah realized this wasn't a simple intelligence leak. It was a comprehensive attack plan involving multiple states. 200 American soldiers were in extreme danger during their cross-country mission, and Sarah was the only person who could prevent disaster. Sarah stood up and walked to Harrison's office. She maintained a calm demeanor, but was internally in emergency mode. "Captain Harrison, message analysis complete. Critical briefing required immediately." Harrison barely looked up. "A quick summary is enough. What language is it?" "Sir, this is ancient Maya language using advanced digital encoding. Translation indicates comprehensive intelligence leak regarding 200-soldier convoy traveling from Fort Campbell to Detroit. Multi-state ambush plan included." Harrison laughed dismissively. "Translator, your imagination is overactive. It's probably just an administrative error." "Captain," Sarah's voice became significantly firmer, "I worked at the NSA for 3 years specializing in exactly this type of encryption. This is a level 5 security breach." Harrison's expression shifted dramatically. "What did you say?" "I have a doctorate in cryptolinguistics from Stanford. I'm 28 years old, and I've prevented multiple terrorist attacks. This message details a coordinated attack on tonight's convoy with ambush points planned in Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan. Timestamps indicate the first attack will occur at approximately 1930 hours near Louisville." Harrison's face went completely pale. He had never properly reviewed Sarah's credentials. He suddenly realized that the simple translator was actually a world-class expert who was younger and more experienced than himself. "What actions do you recommend?" "Immediate convoy halt and complete route modification. Alternative path through different states, perhaps through Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania instead. Simultaneous internal investigation. This leak source requires the highest level access to multi-state military logistics." Harrison activated emergency protocols. The convoy was stopped at the last minute just outside Nashville. Intelligence teams confirmed Sarah's analysis. Heavily armed groups were positioned at exact coordinates she had predicted near Louisville, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Toledo, and Cleveland. 200 American soldiers' lives were saved thanks to Sarah's expertise. "Your position is now changing significantly. We're offering a senior intelligence analyst promotion with oversight of multi-state operations. The facility requires a role appropriate to your expertise level." Sarah considered thoughtfully. "My acceptance is conditional. Maintain current workspace, continue low profile. Effective work requires a suitable environment away from attention." 1 week later, Sarah's door displayed a new nameplate. Sarah Mitchell, Senior Crypto-Linguistics Specialist, Multi-State Operations. Military personnel began demonstrating respectful recognition. Harrison approached Sarah's workstation, visibly embarrassed. "Sarah, I offer sincere apology for my previous treatment. I acknowledge my professional misconduct and failure to recognize your qualifications." "Captain?" Sarah looked up calmly. "Sometimes greatest strengths require concealment. Underestimation occasionally provides strategic advantage in protecting national security." Sarah never boasted about her achievements, never demanded recognition. She continued to work in her small workspace, but now everyone understood her true capabilities. In appearance, a simple translator, in reality, a life-saving expert, protecting American lives across multiple states. Harrison's entire perspective was transformed. Never again did he judge personnel by surface appearances or age. Sarah had taught him a valuable lesson. Authentic talent waits quietly and emerges at critical moments, regardless of how young or unassuming the person may appear. This experience demonstrated to Sarah that sometimes the most effective approach is to maintain a humble position. She could protect people better when adversaries underestimated her capabilities based on her age and quiet demeanor. The discovery at Fort Campbell led to a national security review. Similar coded messages had been intercepted between cities from Boston to Los Angeles. Sarah was invited to work as a national security consultant on cases spanning from Seattle to Miami, but she accepted with conditions. She would stay in her small booth and maintain a low profile. Sarah learned that sometimes the most effective way to protect people is to work from a humble position. Her story reminds us that the greatest powers are often disguised as ordinary people. Sometimes the person who is just a translator actually holds the knowledge to save hundreds of lives across multiple states. Have you ever been underestimated based on your age, quiet demeanor, or unassuming position? Share in the comments. Your moment to prove your true worth might be waiting, just like Sarah's. Real strength doesn't announce itself. It waits for the perfect moment, then changes everything with quiet precision. Sarah Mitchell proved that heroism doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes it wears knowledge, patience, and the courage to act when lives depend on it, regardless of age or appearance.